Hey everybody, welcome to a Cricut craft tutorial. Today we are going to get in the Halloween spirit and we are going to make some really fun spiderweb garland. This is a super easy craft, really fun to do, and you can be really creative with it. You can put it all over your house, all over your classroom, even your desk at work. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Google and I'm just going to search for a spiderweb. And all I'm going to do is go into my images. And sometimes if you look at it this way, it's going to be a little bit tough. So sometimes what you can do is if you don't see anything in the first kind of section that's going to work, although I do see one, you can try searching for spiderweb silhouette, spiderweb SVG, lots of different options. But I think this one looks like it'll work really, really well. So all we're going to do is select this one. We are going to save the image as, I'm going to save it as spiderweb into my Cricut folder. We're going to go back to our design space. We can get rid of this and I can move this so you guys can see better. And of course my Norton decides to pop up now. So we're going to go to upload and we're just going to upload the image. We're going to click browse and you're going to find your image in your Cricut folder. So I know I called it spiderweb, so just find it. It's going to be a simple image and we're going to go ahead and click continue. Now it's really small and hard to see, so I'm just going to blow it up a little bit and we're just going to delete all this gray area in the spiderweb. So this is going to be quite a bit of clicking for this one. You could do this in different apps and things if you wanted to convert it to an SVG, but we're just going to do it this way just to make life just a little bit easier. So we're just going to click a couple times here, get rid of, oops, and not do that. So if you do that, just hit the undo button. I've done that like more times than I can count. So we're just going to go through and make sure we get rid of all the gray. And we're just going to go ahead and not do that again and click all the gray. Now I'm going to look at the preview of it real quick just to make sure I got rid of everything. It looks like I did. And we're going to go ahead and click continue. We're making sure that we save it as a cut image only, so we're going to select the one on the right and click save. All we're going to do now is insert the image into our canvas, and we're going to make it a lot bigger. We're probably going to make each one about, I would say, like a little more than 5 inches maybe. And then all I want to do is I'm just going to duplicate it a bunch of times. And then we're going to build our spiderweb garland. Now I'm going to build this on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I know that I can make it as wide as 11.5. So I'm just going to do it in sort of a fun pattern where it doesn't exactly have to be in a line because no spiderweb is in a perfect line. So we're just going to do this. And the first thing I want to do, because I'm going to double check my sizing, is I'm going to actually attach all of these just because I like the way I have them laid out. So we're going to attach them. And we're just going to check our sizing. So it's about 9 tall and 10 wide. So it will definitely fit on the paper. I don't believe we can add any more because it's going to make it way too big no matter where we put them, unless you want to make small ones, which you can do. You could easily just change the sizing. If you wanted to add some little ones in here, you could do that. But it's just up to you. This is all a matter of your personal preference. I'm just going to make mine more of a abstract, and I'm going to just duplicate this one, and we're just going to make them in however, like whatever pattern I want. And I kind of think I don't want those two to touch. So you want to make sure that with each set that you do, that you weld them. And I know I said attach over here and I accidentally said that. I mean that you need to weld them because you want to get rid of all your cut lines. So all you're going to do is just make sure that it's going to fit on your screen. And you can make these as many times as you want to. You can duplicate, you can add more, whatever you want to do. If you want to just make a couple that look like this, and you can just string them all together. So we'll do that. We'll use up 5 sheets of paper. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to go ahead and go back into my uploads, and I'm going to insert this. And I'm just going to make a couple more that are maybe a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to duplicate it. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with those. So I know this looks like a crazy mess right now, and that's totally understandable. But you'll see when we hit make it, it's going to split it off into different mats. But you see we have all this open space. So what a waste of paper, right? So what we're going to do is take these smaller ones. And the fun with these is you can sit here and go and you right click on them. Or you don't, I'm sorry, you just click on them. And you see these 3 dots up here in this upper left? Click on that and click move to another mat. And I'm going to move it over to this mat. And what we're going to do is, you see how it's kind of sitting there? Look, it fits. You could probably, if you made a couple smaller ones, fit them there. But this way, you're going to save yourself paper. And now you have this little guy that you could use anywhere, and you're not going to waste that little chunk of paper. So we're going to do that for each one of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and move to another mat. And this one, I'm going to move to the second mat. I'm just going to click confirm, and you'll see it kind of shoves it in the middle there. You just put it where it's going to fit. And then I always like to check and see if I can possibly fit another one, but usually I can't. But you could put like little bats, and I'll show you guys that too, because I think that's a really good idea. So let's go ahead and we're going to move this one, and I constantly want to right click, but you just click on it. Move to another mat. We're going to move this one to mat 3. We're going to click confirm, and I'm sure that it will fit somewhere on mat 3. And you see how these are kind of funky and not letting it fit? You can turn them and move them around on your mat as you need to in order for it to fit. And all that you do is this little arrow in the circle, you just do that. And then you can slide him in wherever you think he's going to fit. And you're just going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to move him to another mat. We're going to move him to mat 4. And you can just move these guys wherever you need to move them so that he fits. Simple as that. Now you can go back and put bats in if you want, but the problem with that being is everything moves again. So we're just going to not put our bats in. But if you know that you're going to have some extra space on your paper, you can totally use it up using any other shapes that you want. You can make more spider webs. You can pretty much do whatever. But now you see that mat 5 is completely blank, so we won't need to cut mat 5. We're only going to need to cut 1, 2, 3, and 4. Really, really easy project to do, guys. This is so much fun. I absolutely love this project. And it's really cute when it's all finished. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. And I'm going to make sure I didn't turn my machine on, so I apologize. It's probably going to yell at me that it's not connected. But it's going to bring up, eventually once the machine turns on, I'm going to show you, because I want to show you guys this too. So over here, it shows you what your material is set to. I'm going to change mine to light cardstock because I know that the cardstock I'm using is just a little bit thicker. So when we come back, I'm going to show you guys it cutting, and we will be able to have this really fun garland. We are ready to cut. I have it set on light cardstock. I've loaded it onto my light grip mat, and I'm just going to load my mat. Oops, and I just realized I left that open, so let's make sure that's closed. And then we're just going to hit the Cricut button, and that will get it going. And then on my computer, and I don't know if anyone else's is like that, if you're not on the Cricut screen, it will not load. And I don't know why, but it doesn't. So we'll just make sure that that's going to cut. And I'll let you guys see it cutting. Now it might be a little bit hard to see on the black paper where the lines are, as far as where it's cutting. But right now it's cutting out the entire outline of the project. One thing I want you guys to be aware of is to make sure that your mat is not hitting a wall behind your Cricut. We've had a lot of questions with that lately. A lot of people have been having some trouble with their cuts. And they're having trouble with their cuts and their mat lifting because their project is hitting a wall. Or even the cord behind the Cricut can cause it. So just make sure that everything behind it is completely clear. Now I'm not going to make you guys watch this cut, so as soon as it's done, I will come back and show you guys how to take it off the mat. It's finished cutting, so we're going to take it off the mat. Because I don't care about the big outside part, I'm just going to peel it right off. And I am going to go slowly just in case for some reason it maybe didn't cut anything. But you can see how it's curling my paper. We're not going to want it to do that to the spider webs, so we're just going to flip the mat over. And I'll show you guys that here in just one second. So all we're going to do, we're just going to peel this extra off. If you really wanted to save it, you can. You can obviously flip your mat over, but I don't really need to save that. So to get our spider webbing off, because we don't want it to curl, we're going to flip our mat upside down, and you're actually going to curl your mat away from your design. Now this design does have like a lot of little lines, so it's going to take a while, but this is just the easiest way I found to do it. And let me just get the little one off real quick, and then you can see. So you just kind of, but you want to be careful, because you don't want to crack your mat, and that can happen. So all I'm going to do, and I'm just using my finger, but you could use your spatula or your Cricut scraper. I just usually use my finger. And sometimes, like with these little chunks that it cut out, I'll just pull them off as I go. But you can see that you're actually pulling your mat away from your paper and not your paper away from your mat. Because when you're done, oops, let me get all those little papers off, you have your spider web. Now we're going to do this for the big piece. I won't make you watch that, but this is how you get them off. And then when you're done, you'll see, like, you've got all these little bits on here. This doesn't matter if you, you know, happen to curl these. So all I do is I just use my fingernail and I just kind of just pop them off, and they come off really easily. This is a pretty new mat, so it's pretty gosh darn sticky, and it still comes off pretty easily. So all we're going to do is we'll just get this off, we'll cut the rest of them, and then I'll show you guys how you can attach them easily, because obviously I just used a 12 by 12 mat. Now you could do this on a 12 by 24 mat. I just only have the green one, and it's brand new, so this would not have worked on one of those. It would have stuck really bad, and it probably would not have come off as nicely as this one's going to. So when we come back, we will have everything cut out, and I'll show you guys how to attach. So we have all of our cardstock cut out, and I've laid it out, and I know you guys can't see it completely, but I've laid it out on my table to how I want it to lay when I have it hung. So all we're going to use is this Elmer's glue. Hopefully it's not upside down for you guys. It's just a craft bond, and it's really good for cardstock. And so all I'm going to do is just on the tips of my spider webs, where I'm going to attach them, I'm just going to put a dot of glue, and you're probably going to get glue on your table or whatever you're working on, so just don't do this on like your mom's really good table or your really good table. And then you're just going to press them together, and you're just going to do that with each section that you're attaching. And like I said, I know you guys can't see this, this is pretty long actually. And you're just going to do that to each section. And you're going to let it sit for probably, I would say this is probably going to need an hour or two to dry completely, especially with as humid as it has been in Ohio. Oops, and this one's getting kind of funky. But that's really all you have to do. And then you can take, you have those little ones that we cut out, and I'll show you guys those in 1 second. Let me just get this last piece glued on. But you can either use those other little pieces that you have for a portion, like you could stick them, you know, like up here if you wanted to add more down here, or you can use them, you know, throughout on a different spot that you're going to decorate with. So once this dries, we'll come back and I'll show it to you guys all put up. Here is the finished product. All I did was use just a little bit of sticky tack to hold it to my door. I'll get you guys up nice and close so you can see all the detail. This project was really, really fun, really easy, and you guys can be super creative with it. It would look really cute in a window, on a mantle, even just on your wall. This would be fun for work or even in your classrooms. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. If you're looking for any more tutorials, also let me know that down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. And do click that bell icon because it lets you know when I post a new video. Have a great day.